Right. It's the Excel Spraps channel. It's me, Ken Braverman, talking about college basketball. We're going to make it quick and we're just going to do a video here, discuss 142 college basketball games on Saturday and what the algorithm can provide. It is kind of easy to read when you've been working with it a long time. Yesterday, all the home teams won. Wasn't 7-0. It was actually 6-0. We had St. Louis over Dayton. This is wrong. But it was 6-0 yesterday. It was still undefeated. We just didn't have this game on here. Yeah, I mean, algorithm does good things. Now, so let's talk about what to do today because it's gathering so much information that it kind of allows you to look at it and supposedly just make bets. Like basically over the last couple Saturdays, whenever there's been really, really a lot of games, I guaranteed a couple Saturdays ago that if you bet on all the home teams that are called value picks, that you would win money. And there was 30 games, and that did work out. And it also worked out last Saturday. It was 18% ROI, I believe, last Saturday. So what we're going to do is we're going to sort descending by line value. No way. Are you kidding? There's only 5 today? No way. No way. That's it. And again, no way. That's unbelievably bad. That's amazing. So even though there are home teams, even though there are 64 home teams that the algorithm says to play today, only only 7 of them are value picks. And that's these games right here. So these are the 7 supposedly to play. Although George Mason, which I can't bet on, I could actually go to this game. I could walk to this game. I don't know what time this game is. I'm tired. I was up early today. I don't want to do that. But I could, but I can't bet on it. But I could go there. So I guess it's the other 6 that I gotta bet. Tennessee Martin, Milwaukee, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Fairleigh Dickinson, Chattanooga, and St. Francis, PA. Those are the only value picks that are home. And if we go 3 weeks, 3 Saturdays in a row of being profitable doing this, it will be with these 6 teams. So those lines are, like I said, I've seen worse lines before. That's why these are value picks. You can tell because they're kind of reasonable lines for home teams. So that's a 6-team round robin. You're supposed to win 90% of these games, just about, especially with these with margins over 10%. So really, you're supposed to win. You're supposed to win at least 5 of these games, and there's a potential of going 6-0 like yesterday. So we'll see if that works out. So there's that. Now there's also other things to talk about because there are so many home teams to play here. And really, I said that 90% of the home teams above margin of 10%. So let's resort this for a second. Now that we got, these 6 teams we're supposed to play. Now let's take a look at some other ways to wager using the algorithm's information. Let's look at everything by margin, which is just straight up comparison of teams. And like Miami of Florida is supposed to really crush Louisville. Like that's what this big margin means and top down stuff. So I have just home teams shown right now. I want to show home teams with margins above 10% because I said those win 90% of the time, right? So greater than, we want the margin to be greater than 0.1. That's going to leave us with these 41 games. Okay. Well, now I'm saying that of these 41 games, you're winning 90%. I am saying that. I'm saying it's really close to 90%, if not 90%, which means you got to go 36-5, 36-4, something like that, I believe, right? Equals 36 divided by 41. Is that going to be just shy? Oh, come on, what did I do? Numlock, scroll lock, or something? Stop doing this. Why is numlock a thing? Does anyone ever use numlock anymore? 36 divided by 41. 87%. Yeah, you really got to go 37-4 or better to beat 90%. But with these types of games, it's not unreasonable. I mean, it's actually almost likely. It's really likely you're going to get over 80% right, and it's very close to 90% or even more. Like yesterday was 100% in a day with only 6 games or something like that. So what do you do here? Knowing that you're probably going to get, you're probably looking at a 35-5, 35-6 day or something like that. Well, if you're going to lose one out of every 5 or 6 games, it's saying that you can grab like up to 10 of them and expect to go maybe 9-1. And so what do? Do you grab these by the best lines available? I think that's not a bad idea. So let's resort that. So let's sort it by money line descending. Which is going to be this one right here. And so these games pop up to the top, and I mean, everything below -300, with the exception of George Mason, who's injured, you could consider all these games. And I know a lot of those games were already in here as home value picks, so you don't want to necessarily bet them twice. But there's like, yeah, I mean, there's like 12 or 11 or 10 of these, depending on what, I guess there's 11 of them. And you can expect to go like 9-2 on a bad day, 10-1 on an average day, and 11-0 on a really, really good day with teams like this. So we'll see what happens there, with the exception of George Mason, I guess, the game that I could go to. So now let's back out of this again, because there's something else I want to talk about in this video. So I did stuff with point totals. Oh, what are we doing now? Yeah, that's fine. What did I do? Screw something up? I did stuff with point totals, and everything's fine. And so what this does now is it shows a differential of odds of over under. And what's really fascinating about this is, check this out. Look at yesterday, all right? Forget about money line, forget about any type of line, forget about margin, forget about spread cover. All we care about are projected scores and what the actual scores were. All right. Well, take a look. This is really cool to look at. That's why I want to bring this up. We're not even going to worry about health numbers, even though technically we should kind of look at it. Final margin of victory. Let's leave that. So check out how cool this is. We don't need to see line value. We're just talking about over unders. And the reason why I'm bringing up over unders, because all right, here's the reason why I'm bringing up over unders. I have been, people have told me about different ways to wager, and the over under is an interesting thing because it's basically always at about -110, meaning they're going to name, the over under is going to be named by the odds makers. And if you look for stark disparities between what the algorithm is saying the projected total points are for the game, which is right here, compared to what the odds makers over under is, that shows up here as a differential number. And what was really fascinating about that is I wanted to see if we were winning games on the extremes of this, meaning if the algorithm is saying that the points are way off from what the odds makers are saying. And I did it yesterday, and I put in scores, and that's now we are sorting by this range, meaning we thought this game was going to be 2.5 points less. The Canisius game, we thought there were only going to be 145 points, and the odds makers had it at 147. So we thought it would be under. They were under at 139. This is the only game where we projected an under. The rest of the games, the algorithm always predicted the over. And what I found so fascinating about this is where it's telling you whether or not it was a win or loss based on the over under, like what we projected versus what it was. Look at these wins down here. What is this saying? This is saying whenever the algorithm predicted more than 5 point that we were clearing the over under, we won. It's actually 6 out of 7. I don't think it was, or I think it was 5 out of 6. I think it changed a little bit when I updated stats. It wasn't this good yesterday, but it was close. I think it was 5 out of the last 6. So it was this one too, like this 5.5 and down. This is saying something. This is saying when this disparity is greater and the number is way up here at, we think 9.5 points more. Yes, it did go over. Wow, we actually got this right. State total points almost exactly correct. wow, this New Mexico game went over, even though New Mexico lost and was the only game I lost of all the games I bet yesterday was New Mexico. And that's because they're a team on the road. Why are you betting a team on the road, Ken? Stop doing that. So point is look at this over under stuff. That makes me want to trust this already. When the variance is more than 5 points. So you know what that means? Well, let's look at today. And what's it tell us? It tells us that there are some games to focus on. And let's talk about those games. So we are sorting by odds over under point differential thing, right? Which sounds really complicated, but it's not. It means when this number is an absolute number that is largest, then that means the disparity between what we are projecting and what the odds makers have is large in one direction or the other. In this case, we think 16.5 points less than the odds makers are saying for the Coppin State, South Carolina State game, which means it says absolutely take the under. I don't know why there's such a huge disparity here, but that's pretty crazy. So that's clearly, let's try that out and let's take the under in this game and see what happens. Now you've got ranges all the way up. Remember, everything over 5.5 points was pretty darn awesome in yesterday's version. So you could consider stuff all the way down to here, taking the unders in all these games, right? That's what it's saying to do. It's saying that all these games are unders if these over-unders haven't changed. Then when you keep going down, and because you have so many games today, you look down at the other side of this, and let's go where it's more than 5.5 points. This is where we're thinking games are going to be over. It's these games like Old Dominion and down, right? We think there's going to be 151 points, and the odds makers say 146. So, but like everything here, and look at this craziness. We've got 18, like this North Texas Charlotte game, we're like, they're going to clear this by 18 points. They're going to clear this by 17% or something, right? Or something crazy. 16%, we think it's way, 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 way over what the odds makers say. And here's, you got 15s, 14s. I mean, this is insane. I thought we were predicting scores a little bit high, but this is a lot of a variance. So it would say take the overs in all these games, right? And if we can have a similar type run like yesterday where we're getting 5 or 6 right every time we're getting one wrong, that even works out on a round robin. If you're doing round robins with like, I don't know how many teams. I don't know. I'm tempted to seriously bet the over in all these games is the way I think. But I mean, I got a gambling problem, let's face it. And I can't bet games in Virginia. So I'd have to pull the games that have Virginia teams off of them. But yeah, like all these that are over like 10 points, I'm going to bet the over in all these games. Absolutely. And just watch this. And I'm going to bet the under in all these games. I'm going to bet the under in all these games, and I'm just going to see what happens. Because I have a funny way of the first time I make some programming adjustments to the algorithm, if it's doing the right thing, that is always the best day ever to bet, because the odds makers have not caught up yet, even though they probably were doing a similar exercise with this algorithm to figure out points. Clearly, these are pretty large disparities, so I'd be really interested to see if they win more. So I will be tracking scores today. I'm also going to do a video about hockey because it's a really big hockey day as well. And it's all going up on Excel Spraps, the channel that I can apparently have AdSense on eventually. So go subscribe to that channel. Let's get to the 1,000 subscribers as fast as possible and start monetizing this so that I can finally get paid from Google. From the robot Nazis at Google will finally pay me. I think that might happen. We'll find out. But as for the day, you can see this is a lot of interesting stuff. So we'll be tracking this, and that's where we're at right now. All right. Good luck, everybody. May all your college basketball picks be winning. It's 142 games today. Let's try to win 100 of them. And let's also try to make these over-unders really do something cool. All right. Good luck. May all your picks be winning.